Good morning, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? Hope you had a good week. And anyway, got Thanksgiving coming up, so we'll have a good week. Time to review and look at what's going on. Let's look at gold first, as we normally do. 40.92 on the paper. COMEX, derivative bullshit. Silver 50.35. More bullshit there. So again, I don't really understand the shorting at 4,100 and then the buying at 40. I don't get the point. They're making money in options. Go play options then. Why don't we have a physical gold price? This is my whole point. Because this is bullshit, but yet for some reason they use this as the physical price, which is insanity. So it's good for the buyers because we're buying, $500 silver for $50. But people can't understand that. Most people are clueless that silver is really much higher, physical silver, because it's much more limited than the paper market. I think the question everybody has is, why are we pricing physical silver and paper and COMEX and paper? Why are we letting JP Morgan determine the price? Why are we letting London and COMEX determine the price? I mean, this is the most corrupt, asinine thing. This makes Madoff look like a Boy Scout. This is probably where Madoff gets his ideas from. I mean, he sees this going on. He goes, shit, I can do my Ponzi scheme. The only difference is he actually paid the people in the Ponzi scheme. That was the amazing part. He actually paid the people. For 20 years, he's paying the people their 10, 15%. And he's getting all the money in. So, it's probably the most honest Ponzi scheme there was because he actually paid the people. This Ponzi scheme of the gold, it's really confusing because everybody's making a fortune buying it at these prices. So I guess it's the banks, central banks, some of the people in Russia and China are buying it. These are the people that are here that are buying it. So, but they keep most people in the dark. Just giving that to Jenna. But I mean, everybody's in the dark because nobody's taught this. I think that's the problem. 99% of the population is clueless what's going on. Hey, profit margin. The Raider Nation. Well, that was my lock yesterday, was the under in the game. I knew Cleveland couldn't score with Prime Jr. and if Cleveland's got a rough defense, they're a great under team. So I was happy with the score. Prime didn't do anything. It's terrible. But the Raiders, I don't know. It's you got Coach Pete, but they were pretty bad. Did Kelly get fired and Gino suspended, or are you just hoping he gets fired? The problem is not the Chip Kelly. I mean, that's ridiculous. He was good at Ohio State. He was good at UCLA. He was good at Ohio State. Yeah, he struggled at Philadelphia. Chip Kelly was fired. So they're blaming Chip Kelly why they couldn't score. Okay, well, good luck on that. I wonder who they're going to get. So you're going to get somebody better? The best guy you could get would be the Baylor offensive coordinator, because they score a ton. And then you might as well get the Baylor quarterback. Then you'll have an offense. We will see. Anyway, let's do a little bit on gold first. So gold, why doesn't anybody understand gold? Because they don't teach it. So where do people go for information? Well, if you're lucky, you go to me and I explain it to you. If you're not lucky, you go to your financial advisor, financial planner, who has no clue about gold. Who puts you in stocks? And the stock market crashes every few years. Does anybody ever take profit? People don't even understand that. Being a gambler, I understand profit taking, right? I get up in blackjack, a couple of $500. I put $3 in my pocket. I'm leaving a winner. Being a winner is the key to life. And most people don't know that. They're not taught that. They're probably not listening. These economic classes are a joke because they're Keynesian economics. You don't learn it in finance. They don't teach gold. Why not? Because the government doesn't want you to learn about gold. Because Wall Street, which are banks, control everything. The banks control the government. So all the banks want you in these 401ks, and they want you in stocks and bonds and real estate trusts, but in the paper market. That's where they want you. And since they don't teach you, you don't know. So you go to a financial planner, you assume they're all the same. They got your best interest, and it hurt. Like in Attack on Wall Street, he says, well, that's what you guys are paid for. You're paid to put me in a spot. No, they're not. They're paid for commission. It's all about getting your money in commission. That's what Wall Street is. Don't for a moment think they're trying to make you money. You're in the wrong business here. What about Mendoza or Sayan? Well, first of all, Sayan's a freshman. Mendoza couldn't hold a candle to the Baylor guy. The Baylor guy is so much better. Okay, Pat Theron. So I assume this is Pat. Why am I seeing all these strange emails? Why do I see like profit margin 74.97 and Pat, you're on? I assume it's my Pat from Singapore. The game is soon over with paper silver. Yeah, we've been saying that for a while. I believe it is. I believe it's been over because they don't have any silver or gold to deliver. And when these people, so when they short, there's a buyer buying it, right? That's the contract. There's got to be a buyer and a seller. The buyer wants delivery of the gold or silver. That's what's holding COMEX, why it's even there. It's because the price is cheap for China, Russia, and BRICS to buy it. Because silver at 50.36, they can't find silver at that price. Only on COMEX is that price there. They're probably paying $60 an ounce in China, in most of the world, right? Same thing with gold, 40.91. Well, they're probably paying 44, 4,500 for gold if they can even find it. And this is the problem. The physical market is gone. There isn't any. Only in the paper can they come up with all these ounces of gold or silver that are just bullshit. Anyway, I hope you're good, Pat. Yeah, I'm telling you, the best quarterback is the Baylor quarterback, Robertson. Daggio's a winner. Kid on Alabama, forget him. Kid at Ohio State, we'll see if he can beat Michigan. If he can't beat Michigan, I wouldn't draft him. Why do you think Fields is no good and C.J. Stroud are no good? Because they're chokers. They couldn't beat Michigan. And that shows you their character. They're not winners. Look at Prime Jr. yesterday. He did shit. He threw a 5-yard pass to Samson, who ran 60. He had one long pass, and then the rest were just these little dinks and dunks. So when they got to the goal line, they took him out of the game and it was direct snaps to the running back as if they had no quarterback. Do you see Mahomes come out of the game when they're at the 5-yard line? So don't kid yourself with Prime Jr. Anyway, back to this gold. So you're not taught about it. You don't know anything about it. And when you do see it, hey, why is it at 2,000 an ounce? Why is it at 3,000 an ounce? So when you do see it there, what are you doing? You're not putting two and two together. You don't really know why it's going up or down. You don't really even understand physical and paper. If you ask your advisor, oh no, stay in stocks or real estate trust, or get an annuity at the bank. I walked into the bank, this idiot's trying to put me in a 9% annuity. And I said to him, I don't want to be in paper. I want to be in physical gold, not paper. Went way over his head. But this is the problem. You're not taught it, except for from me. And that's because I had Austrian economics in my master's program. And at that point, learning about it, that's why I'm here to teach you about it. But you're not going to get this. Lynette Zhang doesn't teach you, and Andy Scheckman doesn't teach you, and Peter Schiff and Rickards, they don't even understand it at all. And even Alligator, he's missing the point. Egon's probably the only one that gets it, which is why I show you Egon. It's really the only one that it's really you got to dig deep, and you got to understand that you can't keep printing the dollar to nothing, which is why they keep saying it. There isn't a dollar currency that's ever survived, because they're paper, they're not backed by anything, and they keep printing it, and then they go into debt because they print more than there's more expense than revenue. And so the dollar has to collapse, because at a point you just print too much. Then people start losing confidence in it. But as stupid as most people are, they don't know to lose confidence in it. All they see is prices going up at the grocery store or wherever. And they don't really understand, if prices are going up, that it's the dollar being printed and it's worthless. They don't get that. But the problem is you're not taught it. And then when you do go to, I want to learn about it, you go to the wrong person. You go to a Keynesian, you go to a guy at the bank or your financial advisor. I want to learn about gold. Oh, it's nothing. No. You want your money in stocks. That's where you're going to make money. The fact that the money is worthless is the part they don't talk to you about. And they don't get commission on it. So what they're trying to do is get commission. I was watching, I think Andy Scheckman or one of these idiots, and they asked him the question about why don't more people have gold? And he goes, I don't know. because they get commission. They don't get commission on it, so they don't put you in it. And nobody's smart enough to think like we think, where we understand what's happening. You're printing the dollar at zero. I got to get out of the dollar and go into something that's worthwhile. Hence, you go into gold and silver because they can't, but it's got to be physical. And then you see this bullshit COMEX price, 40.90. Why does it go down? Because it's all options, but options doesn't give you the real price of gold and silver. So if you understand what's really happening, then that's why you buy gold and silver. But they keep you blind. And then the financial planner, like if you want to get a retirement planner, is he gonna put you in gold? No. Silver? No, he's gonna put you in stocks. So when the stock market crashes, then there goes your retirement. However, if you're in gold and silver, nothing happens when the stock market crashes, when the real estate market crashes, nothing happens at all. When the dollar crashes, you're fine. You're in gold and silver. It's money. So this is the problem most people have: a retirement show. Well, we're going to put you in high dividend stocks and then growth stocks. That way you'll have money, as you're retiring. And I'm like laughing, driving off the road, going, this is the problem. People, who do oh, he's a financial planner and he's got a show on the radio. I can listen to him. No, you can't, because he's trying to make sales. He's trying to make commission. He doesn't care about the normal person, and the normal person gets fucked. So you had 1987, you had a big crash. So you want to trust these guys, right? These are the banks that run the government, that run the market. So 1987, big stock market crash. 2000, big stock market crash. 2008, big housing market crash, and led to a stock market crash. I think we had something after COVID, 2020. So 4 times since 1987, we've had crashes caused by the banks. You want to keep trusting them? You want to keep losing your money? Somebody asked me how much money did I lose in the dot-com bubble in 2000, and my answer was 0, because I was long gone out of stocks, because I see what's happening. I wasn't in the gold yet. A little bit ago, I had this, but that was a couple other pieces. But basically, I was out of the market because I could see what's happening. Just like 2007 and 8. How much money did you lose? I didn't lose a penny, because I wasn't in the market. And you could see what was happening from 1997 when Clinton passed the law to allow the banks to lend to anybody. So you're lending to people you shouldn't lend to. So this is what's happening, and the government's behind it, which means the banks are behind it, because the banks pay the government to shut the hell up and do what they want. And that's really the problem. And so how are you going to know that you should be in gold? If you don't find me, you don't. Even Luke, who comes on, who has gold, doesn't understand it. Oh, I shouldn't have bought it. I got to pay tax on it. You don't have to pay tax on it. First of all, you pay tax when you sell. Secondly, you're not going to sell that much. When the markets crash, you'll be buying a house. You won't need a mortgage with a couple ounces of gold. But he fails to understand that concept. So even being told what to do by somebody who knows, he still fails. He's still listening to the Keynesians. And there goes, be careful who you listen to. You must listen to the right people. And that's where I come in. So I try to be as detail oriented and explain what's going on. So here, 40.93. It's all bullshit, right? 40.93, 50.45. This should be at least 500 by now, and this should be 5,000 on its way to 20,000. Why? Because the dollar's gone, and these are extremely limited supplies, and there's extremely huge demand. People don't understand that it's the demand that drives the gold and silver price. This is going up because there's demand for it. This isn't going up because the dollar is going down. The dollar is down to nothing. There is no dollar value. So if you think the dollar went down and now the gold's up $24, you're out of your mind. This is from demand. Yes, gold is 1 ounce, and it takes more dollars to buy the gold. I get it, but how do you know it's 3,000 or 4,093? That's the market demand for the gold. Very short supply. China with 80,000 tons now, Russia 20, India 30. That's where you're at. And that's why the price is up. The demand for the gold pushing the price up. And the supply is very limited. And that's all physical gold, but we're not getting physical gold prices. So the banks are holding the price down so they can all buy it. And it's just about gone, as Pat's saying. Just about gone. They're having trouble. Andy Schechtman says, "Oh, the U.S. is bringing in all this gold and silver or whatever." Yeah, that's to pay all these options that they owe on delivery. That's why they're bringing it in. Otherwise, they default. Done. All right. So what's going to happen is this is going to go to the moon. This will collapse because there isn't enough gold and silver to cover all these shorts that are going on. Look at all these shorts, right? Look at what was that? 10 o'clock. Look at the drop. Somebody bought it, and you can see the buy. It's 40.94. And then you go, oh, well, where are they going to get the gold to cover these shorts that people are asking to buy? The only reason people are buying, the only reason this is still existing is because people want to buy it cheap. So the Chinese they can pay 4,500 for gold, or they can get it on COMEX for 4,000. So they come to COMEX. Otherwise, this is worthless, useless. There is no gold backing, and why would anybody buy anything off of me? And you can't buy anything off of COMEX. We can go to the store and we could get it. Call it 4,100. I could go buy an ounce today for 4,200. But I was okay. I was ahead of the game, so I've already bought most of mine. And we'll see. If I get another job, I'll be able to buy quarter ounces and half ounces, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's what's happening in gold and silver. And that's why when nobody knows, that's why it's very hard to talk gold and silver with people because they don't get it. They don't know, I'm in the hot tub. Hey, you bought gold, or, do you have any gold? It's a deer in the headlight look. They're so clueless. It's unbelievable. So they don't know. If they do go to their financial planner after talking to me, say, "Oh no, you don't want to own gold. You buy stocks because I get a commission on it." That's why I don't see. I mean, like in 1929 when they crashed the stock market, right? So the average person is so uneducated in this, and they force you into stocks, and that's it. It's crazy. And oh, you'll make money in stocks, but what they don't tell you is, well, but the dollar isn't worth anything. So even if you do make $10,000 in stocks, the 10,000 you made is zero. So that's the other point. That's where we come all the way around to why you own gold and silver, because the dollar is not worth anything. They keep printing dollars to pay their expenses. They keep having higher expenses because the dollar's not worth anything. Prices are going up, but that's not inflation. That's the dollar being worth less. The inflation is you've printed the dollars to zero, and that's the problem. And that's why you get out of the dollar and into gold, but it's in every country. The British pound, the Swiss franc, whatever country you want to pick, the yuan, the rand, the Japanese yen, the ruble, Swiss, British, it doesn't matter. They're all in the same game plan. They're all printing money that's not backed by anything. So the whole world's about to need gold and silver, only they don't know it. The Europeans know it a little better. Maybe the Swiss, Chinese have been buying gold, but that's the problem. So you've been in the stock market and you kick it, and then the kicker is, oh, don't worry, the stock market always bounces back. So even if it does collapse, it's going to bounce back. Well, why wouldn't you just be in gold? You don't have to worry about it. And gold is not only good if the dollar's weak. Gold's always good. It's like a mantle card. Is it not good if the economy's strong? Is the mantle card not strong? That's a bunch of bullshit. That if the dollar's strong, gold's weak. They're totally non-related, except you have to have a replacement for the dollar, and it has to be gold. Because if you come out with a new dollar, so we do USD number two, is it backed by anything? No. Then it's still worthless. That's the key to having a value. Is it worth? Is it backed by something? Gold is gold. When the dollar goes out, the gold price is going to go up 5, 10 times because the demand will be there and there's no supply. It's already bought. So what China and BRICS are doing is they're all like setting up. Okay, we got all our gold and silver in. Now let's just watch it go up. That's what we're doing. I already bought and I'm watching it go up. But you don't pay tax on it. When you sell it, you're not going to get 1099 if you sell 4 or 5 ounces, and you're not going to sell a lot more. You're not profit taking it, because if you profit taking it means you get back into this. Well, that's the whole point. Since this has no value, you've Rumpelstiltskin and got out into gold. Why would you sell your gold to get back into this? That's the point. You wouldn't do that. So therefore, that's not an option to sell your gold. You can sell it all. You want to go on a vacation. You got bills to pay, kids' school, whatever. Okay, just an ounce or two. You're not selling 10. You got 100 ounces. You're not selling. You want to hold at least 80 for when it really goes and when you really need it, but not now. Like I said, I could pay for my dinner with silver at the barbecue, but silver at the time was $25. I'm like, I'm not letting go of silver at this cheap rate. It's 50. I'm not letting go with silver at 50. I don't think I'll, maybe at 1,000 I'll let go, but I know it's going higher because it has to, because there's so strong demand, there's going to be, and so little supply that it just, the price, like, see, you're fixed on this price. Well, silver at 50, silver's not a $50 item. It's at least $1,000 per ounce coin. An ounce should be 1,000 over, at least 1,000, maybe 2,000, at least, because in the real physical market, if we had a real market like we do my Canadian Club or my Mantle card, then it would be fine. But not in. You can't look at paper and make an assumption what the physical is, and this is what they're not teaching you. And so that's the problem. So you're really doing it based on the goal. All right. So Lisa's birthday tomorrow, but we're supposed to go out today, but who knows with her. See, some people get frustrated with her because she doesn't, I'll call you in the morning, and then she doesn't. Or I'm going to be home soon, and then she isn't. I don't. Just whenever I hear from her, I hear from her. All right. Let's go to football. Let's go to pro football. And let's just walk down the scores. I had a lock yesterday. Which one? Which we'll get to. Baltimore beats the Jets 23-10. Uninspiring game. KC 23-20 over Indy in a must-win game. That was lock number one, was Kansas City +3. They were at home in a must-win game, and give Indy credit, they looked pretty good. At the end of the day, Daniel Jones chokes, and Mahomes is Mahomes, and he wins the game. And that's why you would lock Kansas City, especially at home, especially in a game they had to win. Seattle 30, Tennessee 24. Seattle's killing them. And then there's a punt return by Tennessee, and then a real late touchdown with like 30 seconds left. And they're laying maybe 7 or 6.5 in a teaser. The spread I thought was too high at 13. Tennessee's terrible, but this is the problem when you have these high spreads. All Seattle's caring about is winning, which they did. But, had this been 7, this would have been a lock -1. But again, Seattle, which is unusual, they're off the loss to the Rams. You'd have thought they'd have killed them, but they didn't. Green Bay 23, Minnesota 6. I like the under in this game. I think I forgot to play it. I had so many games because I got it circled under 48, and I'm looking who do I got it with, and I didn't see it. I was kind of pissed. I'm like, fuck, I like the under. It's all circled. Plus JJ McCarthy and Love. Anyway, 23-6 Green Bay. Minnesota, good defense. Green Bay, good defense. Both quarterbacks kind of suck. Detroit and the Giants, this was my second lock. Now, I gave you as the free pick on like Tuesday or Wednesday, laying the 10 down to 4. And that was the lock and the free play. And I have 37-10, and they win 34, but 27 in overtime. So I knew Detroit would score a lot because that's what they can do against the weak defense. But the Giants, I was just stunned. They were moving the ball with Winston. But it was a lot of trick plays. So I'm seeing all these trick plays that Ben Johnson invented. Throw it back to the quarterback. Let's do a triple reverse, a triple Lindy. So it made it close, but again, at the end, it was -12, so it was -6. So you still won somehow. The reason you won is because the Lions scored first in overtime, and therefore had to kick the extra point. So they went 34-27. The Raiders suck. Yeah, we know that. Can't even beat Prime Jr. Well, it wasn't Prime. He didn't do anything. It was mostly the defense. It was Myles Garrett. That's what hurt. But yeah, I mean, we know they're not a good team. So yeah. So Detroit 34-27. Free play wins. It was I circled it as a lock, but I didn't lock it. I don't know why. At 10, and I knew they would bounce back after the loss to Philly and the Giants with the 27 defense. But they got Green Bay this week. It's about a 19 defense now. New England 26, Cincy 20. I like the game over, which was 51, which was 45, which won. The bet was New England -1. The reason for the bet was because Joe Burrow didn't play and Chase was out. And I said, okay, I don't know how good New England is. The score here, 26-20. Flacco gets 20 points. That I figured that. And New England, I don't know how good they are. Beating Cincy 26-20 doesn't show me anything. They got Buffalo. Let's see if they can beat Buffalo in a must-win game for Buffalo. Then we'll see. It's like Indy. All right, they go to KC and they lose. They went to the Rams and they lost. Oh, they beat a bunch of Tennessees. So you don't know. They look pretty good. Taylor didn't do shit yesterday, as I knew he wouldn't. Daniel Jones, he's going to have some plays, but when it really counted, KC shut the door on him, as I knew they would. So New England, 26-20. Are they any good? I don't know yet. Chicago 31 and Pitt 28. I have Pitt +9 in the teaser. Even though I knew Rodgers was out, I was confident in Rudolph. I'm not confident in the Caleb, and I'm not confident in their defense, a 26 defense. So it turns out where Pitt's winning the whole game, all of a sudden Chicago goes up, gets a turnover. They go up 31-21, but we get the touchdown 31-28. And, Chicago, they're not that good, but they're winning the division as a joke. I don't know. Caleb, I mean, he still stinks. He didn't get any better. It's a lot of the play calling and the dipsy doodles. Jacksonville 27-24 over Arizona in overtime. Arizona with the 26 defense. Marvin Harrison doesn't play. Like I said, doesn't matter. Jacksonville, I don't know. Lawrence and Brissett. Jacksonville is not going on the road and winning as a road favorite. I mean, they won, but they weren't covering. Arizona, Brissett's not bad. I don't mind him. Cleveland, Oakland. This was the other part of the lock. Cleveland wins 24-10. The lock was under 43. So my lock yesterday was Kansas City +3 and Oakland under 42. And 24 to, I'm looking at 17-3 fourth quarter. All of a sudden it's 24-10, but I can still give up another touchdown. The beauty of teasers. So 34, even if we gave up another, it was 41. We're under 42, so we were in good shape. But glad it ended 24-10. And Prime Junior, he didn't do anything. It was all short passes. And then Oakland, Geno Smith was terrible. But again, I don't think the problem was Chip Kelly. I don't understand that at all. It's not like he doesn't know how to be a good offensive coordinator. He won the national title with Ohio State. He must know how to do it if he won it. So anyway, Cleveland 24, Oakland 10. Oakland with the first pick should take Daggio or Robertson from Baylor. Again, Oakland 25 defense. Cleveland, pretty good defense. So I knew it was a good under. So anyway, so that's the lock. So the locks were great this week. I go 7-1 in my locks. 5-1 in college, which are beautiful, and then here 2-0 yesterday. Atlanta, New Orleans, same score. Atlanta 24-10. I liked Atlanta getting 2 because how can New Orleans be favored over anybody? It's like Oakland being favored. And Cousins must have played a little better, and then Shaw's not giving you points. So I'm glad for Atlanta to win 24-10. I like the under in the game also. It was 41, would have been 47. I liked Atlanta, and I didn't play either. Philly, Dallas. This is a strong play. I played this twice. I played Philly over, which was 41, and they scored, it was 24-21. So it was a 45, 45. So I win the over. Because you play Dallas over, you play Pittsburgh over. There's certain teams like in college ball, Baylor. I almost lock them every week, and they cover every week. I had them locked this week; they covered. So Dallas is always an over. They get guys open. They have no defense. Philly, I don't know. Hurts stinks. Oh my God, he's terrible. 21-0 against Dallas's defense, and he does shit. He doesn't even look good. They don't even have good plays. They don't do anything. I mean, it's just handed off or these short little passes. There is no creativity at all in the offense. This Eagle team sucks. Now, they're up 21-0, and then they have a couple of fumbles. Okay. They weren't really ready to play. Now, here's the part I don't get. It's 21-0 with about 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. Dallas has the ball at the Philadelphia 5, and now it's 4th and goal. You're in a tie game. Why aren't you kicking the field goal? It's got nothing to do with the betting or the odds or anything. You're the dog. You're getting 3. The total is 47, and you're at 42. So yeah, touchdown gives you the over. But you gotta win the game. It's more important than covering the spread, I think. So he goes for it, doesn't make it. Philly gets the ball, fumbles. And then Dallas, is this over? So just before at the end of the game, now they kick the field goal and win 24-21. What the fuck's going on with that? You have the stupidest head coach in the world. Is this guy going to go to Miami or Florida and be a head coach where he can? Yeah, I know it's 4th and 5, and it's a tie game. Let's go for it. What is wrong with these coaches and going for it? Oh my God! So they finally Philly gets it, fumbles, and Dallas at the end kicks the field goal to win 24-21. And you're like, you're shaking your head. You got the ball at the 5-yard line. It's fourth down. Who doesn't kick the field goal? What kind of idiots are these coaches? All right, there's a time and a place to go for fourth down. When the game's tied with 2 minutes left in the game, is not the time to go to try to score the touchdown. Kick the field goal. Unbelievable. And then it happened again. I was watching the Lions and the Giants. The Giants are up 3, 2 minutes left in the game at the 5-yard line. And what do? They go for it. They're up 3. It would have put them up 6. The Lions kick a field goal to tie the game and go to overtime. So it makes the Lions have to score a touchdown. But no. He goes for it, throws an incompletion. The Lions go down, tie it up with the field goal. I don't understand why they automatically go for it on fourth down. What's the point? And then they very rarely make it, especially in these type of games where you're winning, or it's to win the game. How do you not go for it or kick the field goal? So I don't really understand what the hell is going through these coaches' minds that you have to go for it on fourth down. Why do you have to go for it? I mean, it's so incredibly stupid. The goal is to get points to win the game. You got 4th and 5. The odds on getting 4th and 5 are probably, like in Dallas's case against Philly, probably 0%. You're not getting 4th and 5 at the 5-yard line. There's nowhere to go anyway. It ain't happening. Kick your field goal. Because you almost got 100% guarantee you're not going to make it. But no, they go for it anyway. So the Giants would have won because Detroit would have had to score a touchdown, and then they would have done a Hail Mary at the end. Although they might have attacked it differently because they knew they just needed a field goal, which again, if you get the field goal, you're up 6. And then, and this whole thing with Dallas and Philly, you got to know who you're playing. You think you're going to get a 4th and 5 at the 5 in a tie game with 2 minutes left? You think you're going to make it? Okay, so this is the problem. These guys are just idiots. They clearly don't know what they're doing, because how could they? If they did, they wouldn't be this stupid. So this is the mentality of these coaches. We got to go. It's fourth down. Who cares? We'll go for it. We got to. I believe in my player. Nobody says you don't believe in them. That's not the point. So what happens when you don't get it? Then what? Well, I believed in them. So there you have it. The last game, 34-7, the Rams. I lose that game, as I bet Tampa in 13 because they're such a strong road dog. Play against the Rams. They're 24-4 in the teaser. Baker. But the Rams jumped out 14-0, and I knew I was fucked in that game. Tonight I have a play, the Niners in Carolina. I did play the game. So I hit Houston on Thursday. I hit KC 2-0. Hit Detroit 3-0. New England 4-0. Pittsburgh 5-0. Oakland under 6-0. Philly over 7-0. Philly +3 8-0. And I lose Tampa 8-1. So a real good day. And then we got the game tonight. So very good day. And what was weird is I didn't really, I kind of forced the lock. I go, well, Mahomes has to win. They just lost to Denver. And then I said, well, Detroit should have been the lock, but it jumped so high. And then when it got down to it, Oakland, Cleveland under was Prime. As soon as I heard Prime was the quarterback, I go, well, this is going to be a 3-0 game. So the lock went. Oakland under Kansas City. Now the scary part is here's KC, which has to win against Indy, and they're losing, and they get a miracle. They have a big fourth quarter, and they win. The Lions in a must-win because they got Green Bay Thanksgiving. They just got their ass kicked by Philadelphia, and they can't handle the Giants' offense. My synopsis of this is Detroit has no defense, pretty good offense, struggling offensive line. They're going to struggle against Green Bay this week. Don't forget, Green Bay shut them out the first time. Not shut them out to 0, but, they beat them like, 28-10 or something like that. So Lions aren't going to do shit on Green Bay, and I don't think they can stop them. Their defensive coordinator sucks. Their offensive coordinator is now the head coach. And he doesn't call as many trick plays as Ben Johnson did. Ben Johnson's really fake. He's not smart enough to we're going to double team here or we're going to run there and just it's all this bullshit. Let's do a triple reverse, throw back to the quarterback. That's Ben Johnson. He's not he's getting you over here and then he does there. So he can't really figure out a way to beat you, but he tricks you. I don't know if that's a good coordinator or not, because if you just keep somebody on the throwback to the quarterback and pick it off, is that really a good play? So I don't know. Caleb just sucks. The defense had 3 linebackers out. How they beat Pittsburgh, I don't know. Pitt looks like they're in trouble. So you start reevaluating the team. So if let's go through the standings. Is New England real? Well, they're 10-2 and Buffalo is 7-4. They've had the weak schedule, of course, and that's the thing. Their one game was beating Buffalo, which Buffalo probably didn't take them too seriously, and Buffalo had some big games. So we'll see. I don't know they can beat Buffalo the second time when Buffalo's 2 games behind them. Miami and the Jets both suck. Baltimore and Pitt are now 6-5. Cincy's 3-8. I don't know why Cincy didn't go to Burrow, and then they could have easily went 10-7, which is going to win in their division. There's still only 3 games out. As far as I can see, there's 6 games to play. As far as I can see, we all remember the Detroit Tigers with the 15 15-game lead, and they blew that one. That's baseball, so I don't know. 3 games out, I can't believe Cincinnati didn't go to Joe Burrow. I think that was a huge mistake because I think they were all excited he was going to play, and then you don't play him. So it's a big letdown. So I hope he plays Thursday. They're playing Baltimore. Well, why wait till Baltimore? A win's a win. So had they beaten New England, then it would have been fine. So Cincy with Burrow, Chase comes back. They're an over team. Their defense is weak. At least Flacco keeps them as an over team. Pitt, no defense. Baltimore, I'm not sold on them either. Lamar's terrible. And, I don't know. Cleveland, good defensive team, basically. They go to Prime Junior, it's just going to be bet them under every week. Indy at 8-3, Jacksonville 7-4, Houston 6-5, and Tennessee 1-10. Is Indy real? I don't know. They went to the Rams, lost. Went to KC, lost. They lost the 3rd game. I mean, look at Jacksonville is not very good. Tennessee stinks. Houston is good. That's the one team they have to beat. But we'll see. I mean, they looked fairly competent against KC. I mean, they played with them, so I don't know that they're the A team yet, but they're probably a B team. Jacksonville, I don't buy at all. And again, this is the problem. You've got to read between the lines, this easy schedule. when you've got Jacksonville and Indy playing Carolina and New Orleans and Atlanta and Tennessee and Vegas, that is you're not seeing a real team. Now, Indy the Rams, we saw a real Indy and KC. They played them tough. KC, God knows, needed the game. Then Denver, yeah, they're a real A team. San Diego, I don't know. They're very inconsistent. And then KC now is 6-5, and Oakland's 2-9. So KC is 3 games behind. They will not catch Denver, but they should make the playoffs. They probably won't lose again. They'll beat San Diego, and they'll probably beat Denver at home. They're better at home, but it's a very difficult situation. They're so good. They just teams that are winners, like the old Celtics and Lakers, even if they're kind of faltering, they know how to turn the switch on, which they did yesterday. They were playing bad. They're way down, but they knew a way to score, and then they held them, and then they scored again, and then they knew what to do. So that's why I lock KC, because really it wasn't a KC play. It was an Indy getting 9, and I circled the under 50.5. That was my first circle, and but I went with KC +3 instead. My totals were pretty good this week. Detroit, the Giants over, New England, Cincinnati over, Pitt, Chicago over, Jacksonville, Arizona over, under in Cleveland, under in Atlanta. Look at the quarterback, Cousins and Shaw, Prime and Geno Smith. Where are you going to get points from? That's my whole thesis. Hurts and Dak, I did go over. It's funny, I went over and I took Phillip +3. And Baker and Stafford, I wanted over 49, which would have been over 43, and it didn't go there. It was 41. It was like the Florida-Tennessee game, which should have been over, but Tennessee decided to just run the ball the second half and not score anymore. Gosh darn it, we're not going to score anymore. And they won't make the playoff because of that. Winning 31-11, it's not the same as winning 51-11. So the coach cost them the playoff there because they look at, why do you think Notre Dame scored 70? Wow, they scored 70. Yeah, they beat who? High school team? Syracuse with the backup quarterback. Yeah, good luck there. All right, so your best team here, Denver, Kansas City, I guess Indy. I think Houston needs a quarterback, great defense. See, that's where they're one-dimensional. They have the defense and not the offense. Baltimore needs a quarterback, as we know, God. Pittsburgh's very weak. Cincinnati, an over. Cleveland, I don't know. You're not winning with Prime Jr., Myles Garrett, and the defense looks like they come to play. And then New England, they're 10-2, but they're not real. And then we've got Buffalo here. I don't like Drake May. Runs around. Okay, he's getting better. I'm confused like Daniel Jones and some of these quarterbacks who just suck. And now all of a sudden they're good. Darnold. Well, Darnold's good until he gets into a big game. Then he's not good. 4 picks against the Rams in a must-win game for them. He doesn't show up. That's Darnold. Daniel Jones, big game here, didn't win the game. You care if they win or lose more than you care about other things. All right, so that's the AFC. So the best team, in my mind, is Denver. Then I would say, I'm not sure. New England and Indy, okay, maybe. I don't trust them. Then I'd say Kansas City. And then I'd say Buffalo. Baltimore's way down. Houston's probably there because of their defense. All right, let's go NFC. Philly 8-3. Dallas, very confusing team, very bad coach. I don't know what they're doing. Washington's got injuries. The Giants, I don't know. They're a real good 2-10 team. I'll tell you that. 2-10 team with a 27 defense, and they light up Detroit for 27 points. So now we've got to look at it as Detroit has no defense. They got Green Bay Thanksgiving. We'll talk about the game. The Bears are not 8-3. They're 8-3, but no chance. Green Bay at 7-3-1. Detroit at 7-4. I love that Detroit was all cocky. We're going to go 15-2 again. We're going to the Super Bowl. They're not even going to win their own division because the Bears have that easy schedule. The Bears do have at least one game with Green Bay. They got one more with Detroit. We'll see what they do. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy, great defense. Justin Jefferson, good running, but you got no quarterback. How they let Darnold go for J.J. McCarthy, I couldn't believe. At what point did you ever see J.J. McCarthy be good? He didn't do anything at Michigan. He didn't win the national title. He handed the ball off. The running backs did all the work. So at what point are you going, wow, J.J. McCarthy impresses me? Daggio Pavia, he wins the games for Vanderbilt. Robertson, he doesn't win the games for Baylor because they're in such a hard conference, but he throws for 300 yards a game and a lot of touchdowns. He's not the reason they're losing. We got the kid at Texas A&M, Reed, guy's the superstar. Okay, those win games, right? He did beat Notre Dame, right? He came from behind, beat Notre Dame 42-41, came on against Texas A&M. They won 44-41. So look at that and understand that. Also, you got to reread Texas. They're not a good defense. All right. Arkansas loaded up on them. Georgia loaded up on them. They're giving up in the 30s, 4 games now. So we bet Texas over, and we got A&M, I think, this week. This could be a lot, depending on what the total is. It'll probably be low. It probably won't be. Should be in the upper 60s. It'll probably be in the upper 50s. So again, that's what you're looking at. Tampa 6-5, Carolina 6-5, Atlanta 4-7, and New Orleans 2-0. I don't know how New Orleans won games. Excuse me. Hello.
Hey, what's up? How come it never rings when I call you?
It rings.
Oh, not for me. For you, though.
For me, I know to answer it. I'm in class, but I'll be done shortly.
Couldn't you come get me after?
Yeah, it won't be long.
All right. Just call me here anyway.
Okay.
I'm at the clinic.
I'll be about a half hour.
Okay, no problem. Bye.
Bye-bye. It's her birthday tomorrow. So anyway, so I believe Tampa more than I believe the Bears. Green Bay at 7-3. I have a hard time believing them. I don't believe Love. Carolina's, that's just weak schedule. Atlanta 4-7. So that's about it. And then we got the Rams 9-2. Yes, I believe they're loaded. They got Stafford. They got the defense. Seattle 8-3, but there's Darnold. Frisco 7-4. I believe now that they got Purdy and some of the guys back, I think they're better than Seattle. They seem to play a good defense. So we'll see tonight. They're playing Carolina, right? So 7-4 plays 6-5. There's going to be a big difference between the Niners 7-4, who are 2 games behind the Rams, and Carolina. They're not even on the same field. So that's what we have. So again, the best team I think is the Rams. Tampa's a very good 6-5 team. I don't buy the Lions anymore. The Bears I don't buy. Maybe Green Bay because of Micah Parsons. And then Philly. So it's Philly, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, the Rams, and the Niners. I mean, that's it. The rest just suck. And the coaches are so bad. All right. Let's look at next week's lines. Tonight, the Niners 7.5, 49.5. And I've already played it. All right, let's look at next week. We got 3 games Thanksgiving. We got Detroit, Green Bay. Detroit 2.5, 48.5. How can Detroit be favored in this game? Did we all watch the defense yesterday? He couldn't stop fucking Winston. Not that Love's much better, but I mean, Love's got problems, but you got Micah Parsons. I'm not buying this. Total of 48.5. Green Bay with the strong defense makes it a real tough over. Like you go, well, Detroit, good offense, no defense, should go over. I don't know, but I think Green Bay should move on this incredibly bad defense. And the Lions, the problem is going to be the Lions moving on Green Bay and Micah Parsons because Goff just closes his eyes as he's about to get hit. It was all the running back yesterday, Arnold or whatever his name is, and I don't know. It's almost maybe a Green Bay an 8.5 play. It's probably the best play there because Micah Parsons is going to just shut him down, and it looks like Detroit can't stop. Michigan State, right? Also Thursday, Kansas City at Dallas, KC 3.5, 52.5. I would think this game goes over because it's Baylor, it's Dallas. It's just they score a lot. It's going to be hard to stop. Both wide receivers in Dallas. Dak did his 2 interceptions yesterday. You put up 24, should have been 27 on Philly. You're going to probably do that on Kansas City. They're not going to stop Mahomes. This should be high. And KC 3.5. Again, it's a tough number with KC. I don't know. They'll probably win again. I don't think Dallas can beat them, but we'll see. They should never beat Philly. I mean, Philly's coach, what a terrible offense. Jalen Hurts, my God, is he terrible. And then we got Cincy, Baltimore. Baltimore 7, 51.5. This should be over. Again, we got to see if Burrow plays. If Burrow doesn't play, I don't understand it. Burrow should be playing in this game. All right, without a question. So we will see. But I mean, this is ridiculous if he doesn't. This is football. He's healthy. He practice. What are you waiting for? We won't play him now. We'll play him next year. Why? He's ready now. Why wouldn't you play him? Get him back in the game. So you're just going to quit? You're a bunch of quitters? Is that what I hear? So with Burrow, I definitely like Cincinnati, and Chase will be back. Getting 13, that's ridiculous. The Bears go to Philadelphia, and that's the end of the Bears. Philly off of a loss should get the win. Although Jalen Hurts, man, he sucks. Rams go to Carolina. Look out. Rams are 10. That shows you how good Carolina is. They're at home. LA has to travel across the country. But we got to be careful with these big spreads because as you just saw with Seattle, they just want to win. So they kind of reel it in, and then they win by 6 instead of by 25. Rams, Carolina, we'll see. Arizona, Tampa. Tampa off this loss, getting killed by the Rams. They're going to kill Arizona, 2.5. The JETS is Atlanta's favored, 2.5, 39. How can Atlanta be favored with the Cousins? Oh my God. Yeah, I kind of think the Jets are pretty live here. Total of 39.5. We'll see. New Orleans goes to Miami. See, this is the problem. You get shit playing shit, and somebody has to win. They go, oh, look how good they are. Miami 641.5. Miami should win that game. Houston goes to Indy. Now, I don't know if they played yet. Indy's 4.5, 44.5. Houston's going to bring their defense, and that's going to be A lot for Indy to handle. Jacksonville, Tennessee. Jacksonville 6.5, 41.5. Jacksonville, well, it's Tennessee. Tennessee sucks, but again, Jacksonville sucks too. The Niners go to Cleveland and get to face Prime Jr. Maybe. We'll see if Gabriel, he had a concussion. But these concussions have been lingering. CJ Stroud's still out. We'll see. Frisco is 6.5, 40.5. You got to love Frisco here. Although tough defense with Cleveland, maybe you go under. We'll see what happens tonight. Minnesota, Seattle. The Sam Darnold Bowl. Seattle 9.5, 42.5. Probably go under. Minnesota can't score. Seattle, pretty good defense. Then Darnold's not going to score against Minnie. Anyway, we got Oakland at San Diego. San Diego 9.5, 41.5. That's about right. If we go with profit margin, or no, we go with Greg and John, or any of them, that means we take San Diego lane 3.5. Oakland, no offense. So okay, you got rid of Chip Kelly. Who's your offensive coordinator? Coach P. He's going to bring the USC offensive coordinator back. Buffalo goes to Pittsburgh. Buffalo 3.5, 47.5. Pittsburgh's pretty bad, but we'll see if Aaron Rodgers comes back. Buffalo, it's all Josh Allen running around. He should put up a lot of points. Denver goes to Washington. Denver's 6.5, 43. You got to love Denver here. Washington, they got Mariota. Yeah. And the Giants go to New England. What kind of schedule is this? New England, 7.5, 46.5. You got to like New England. This is a team they should beat. This is a team without well, they got Winston as quarterback. Enough said. Let's look at college. We'll just look at the top 25. And then I got to go. Top 25. Prophet, how are you? There is talk the Raiders may go after Prime Senior as their new head coach. Oh, that'll work. Look how good he's been this year. They've won 2 games, Colorado? You've got to be kidding me. Why would then they can trade for Prime Jr.? Is that the secret? And that's going to do what? You think they're bad now, you would be terrible. You wouldn't win a game. All right, top 25. Friday, Ole Miss, Old Mississippi State. Ole Miss, 7.5, 63.5. Yeah, this will be very high scoring. Utah, Kansas, Utah, 13.5, 60.5. Utah scores, I'll give them credit for such a good defense. Kansas just, I don't know. They're not playing well this year. Georgia Tech, Georgia 13, 59.5. I'd like to say Georgia Tech's a live dog here. As far as totals, I don't know. Georgia Tech, I mean, they really blew it against Pitt. Texas A&M. Oh, here's our free play. A&M 2.5, 51.5. This is your free play, which is also going to be a lock. Over under 51.5. I'm going to post this like today. I got to find the second half of it, but this is a joke. 51.5. This will be halftime. It'll be 28-24 at half, which is 52. Bet it as soon as you can. I think usually Sunday night's the bullshit, so this should be the line. I don't know why you would be 51.5, but free play, go over in this game. Lock, go over in this game. It's Thanksgiving, you know. Indiana, 28.5, 54.5 to Purdue. Take Indiana should kill them. It's a rivalry. It's at Purdue, but Indiana, I think, going into the Big Ten championship game against Ohio State, so they're not going to fuck around with Purdue. Arizona State. Arizona 1.5, 48.5 at Arizona State, but we don't have Sam Levitt. I think Arizona, they're both. If Levitt was playing, this would be tease the dog, maybe an over. We'll see. Arizona State did kill Colorado in Prime Junior. Did you see Prime Senior at the game yesterday with his cowboy hat? Got nothing better to do than go to Las Vegas to watch his son. Houston and Baylor. Baylor 2.5, 61.5. Yeah, you gotta take Baylor here. Houston doesn't score that much to really go over. Ohio State, Michigan. Ohio State, we saw 11.5 is now 10 at 44.5. We're scared shitless to take Ohio State. They've lost 4 in a row. Michigan, on the other hand, we'll see. They got their third string running back in. Their quarterback isn't much. Ohio State should win. They should have killed them last year. Hard to figure out what to do with Ohio State here. Totals, you can't figure that out either. Every time I go under with them, they score over 38.5, probably an over. They don't have, they have a good defense. I don't know. Texas Tech, West Virginia. Texas Tech 23.5, 53.5. You ain't getting 53.5 on Texas Tech. Not with this defense. West Virginia gets shut out. Miami against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I think, is in the title. They've only lost one game, but we'll see. If Miami beats them, then maybe it's Miami. I got to read that. Miami 6.5, 50.5 at Pitt. UCF, BYU, BYU 17.5, 48.5. Yeah, BYU all the way. Missouri, Arkansas, Missouri 2.5, 58.5. It's hard because the quarterback, I don't know if he played and if he's going to play in this game. They played a low-scoring game with Oklahoma, which I would have thought they struggled. The guy's going to run for 300 yards in this game. Arkansas, terrible. Probably goes over. We will see. Vandy, Tennessee. Here's the other half of our free play. Vandy, Tennessee. Tennessee 2.5, 64.5. So go. This will be 100 points. Oregon, Washington. Oregon 753.5. I like the home dog here. LSU, Oklahoma. Oklahoma 10, 37.5. This will be low scoring. I think Oklahoma needs it for the playoff. Poor LSU, Bobby. You're not showing up. Are you going to be the head coach next year, or is it going to Lane Kiffin? Oklahoma 10. Yeah, they should bomb them. If they see, here's where they need to win to make the playoff. Then LSU just good defense. It's 2 good defensive teams, but the total is 37.5. VTech, Virginia. Virginia needs to win to go to the title game. 10.5, 52.5. Go Virginia. Tulane, Charlotte. Tulane 30, 53 to Charlotte, the Z team. Alabama, Auburn. Alabama 5.5, 48.5. At Auburn, this should be a tough game. Alabama, they let us down with Oklahoma. They should win the game, but we'll see. USC, UCLA. USC 20.5, 60.5. Game doesn't really mean much. UCLA, I don't know what they're doing. We'll see. Northwestern and Illinois. Illinois 747.5. This is a very close tease the dog game. And Notre Dame, Stanford. Notre Dame 32.5, 52 at Stanford. Look at Notre Dame to score another 70. And that is it. I got to go get Alyssa. It's her birthday. It's her birthday tomorrow, but Let's see what our gold price is doing. As you can see, I got a bit of a cold. Well, we're up to 40.95 and 50.44 silver. Why when it almost hit 41 did it go down? Who is shorting it? Why is this being done? Is the question. Why do you see these drops? And don't give me, well, it's too high and it's just recalibrating. This is not a stock. There's zero reason for this to go down. Zero. People need to buy gold, and they are in record. Why is this going down? And I'll leave you to that. All right, that's it. www.teaserking.com. So 7-1 on my locks this week. I'm a happy camper. It proves I know what I'm doing, even though yesterday I was kind of blind. Okay, well, Oakland under, yeah, Cleveland, that made sense. Kansas City against Indy, probably didn't, but we got away with it. Detroit should have been the lock, and then the line jumped up, and they played like terrible. I mean, they were a terrible team yesterday, the Lions. They're not beating Green Bay. The Green Bay with Michael Parsons will be the difference. He'll be all over Golf. Golf will be crying, oh, he's sacking me. Golf's not a very good quarterback, as we know. The only reason they won yesterday was Gibbs breaking 3 long runs for touchdowns. Golf didn't do anything with it. All right. Well, have a good day. I will see you tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm having a roast for Thanksgiving. I got to try stuffing. I never do stuffing. It's carbs, but I can do that. I got to go buy a pumpkin pie, like I said, and I got to get. I got salad. I got like fried onions. You know how the fried onions they sell in the can. So I ate those yesterday. Oh, they're pretty good. I might have to get more. And that's it. So enjoy. Get ready for Thanksgiving. A lot of sales. My roast was on sale. The turkeys obviously are on sale because they know there's demand, but they can't afford the price. So if you know you got demand, they lower the price to sell them because of the competition. Well, I'll go to Aldi or I'll go to Walmart or I go to, so the more expensive grocery stores have to compete. So they lower the price. That's what competition does. That's Austrian economics. Anyway, have a good day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Good. And I'll have, we'll see what we got. I think the Niners win tonight, if that helps you out. And go from there. I gave you already the free play next week. So it's A&M, Texas under or over. I mean, that's a joke. 51? Yeah, that's a joke. All right. Have a good day. I will see you tomorrow. Take care.